Welcome to the Fast and Curious podcast, where we bring you a topic in 15 minutes or less. Today we're going to be talking about Area 51, and I'm here with my co-host, Zach Walden.
Hey.
So, Zach, what is Area 51?
So, Area 51, it's in Nevada. It's in like this desert. It's a United States Air Force facility, commonly known as Area 51, but it's a remote detachment of the Edwards Air Force Base. So it's basically like just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's like this little box that's a part of the Nellis Air Force Range,
just next to Groom Lake.
Yeah, and I know a pilot was flying over in that area, and on they have like the GPSs that like show the landmarks on the ground, and it was on the GPS. It was known as Homey Airport.
Homey Airport, yep.
Which that was the first time that was ever seen before.
Yeah.
And I know that, so if you look at it on like a map of like districts, it's a box, and that box is a no-fly zone. Even the pilots at Nellis Air Force Base and the Air Force facilities around it, even if they're pilots for those bases, they are not allowed to fly in Area 51. Like they can get court-martialed for it and like kicked out of the Air Force for it.
Yeah, the Area 51 is within the general area of the Nevada Test and Training Range. Mm-hmm. So they basically use it supposedly as a training facility for pilots.
For like prototype aircraft.
Yes, prototype airplanes like the U-2, spy planes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so the existence of Area 51 was not acknowledged by the U.S. government until 2013, when classified documents were released by the government, and they were releasing what it was used for when it was started in 1950 and was used for the Cold War, which started with Project Aquatone, which was the very first project they had there. And there was the production and the testing of the U-2 spy planes so they could take pictures of the Soviet Union without getting shot down. And then that was all within the Cold War. So that's the Area 51, the usage came out of the Cold War, and so they had to have this top secret facility they could use.
And of course, with the top secret status, people start to think.
Yeah, people start wondering. People start asking questions.
People start wondering, and things start to pop up.
Yeah.
That kind of lead us into more of the alien type.
So how do the workers get into Area 51?
So, how they get in? There's I think there's 2 or 3 ways. The first way is by a white plane. There's a plane, I believe it's at Edwards Air Force Base. Takes off every morning with people, and they land at Area 51. I believe that's the only plane, other than those test planes, that can actually go into Area 51 and land. Now, they have a bus. They have a white bus as well that goes down this long dirt trail. I believe it's like a 7, 8, 9 mile trail all the way down to the south gate. And then from the south gate, it's another 3 miles into Area 51 there. And, of course, the camo dudes. These camo dudes, they're the security guards, and they're known as the camo dudes because that's what they wear. Yeah. They literally wear beige camo. They drive white trucks.
Yeah.
And they beat.
They're nice trucks too. Yeah. I've seen videos. They're like brand new Ford Raptors and stuff. But the boundaries marked by these orange posts, and they have like magnetic sensors in the road that tell them which direction you're heading, what speed you're heading, and all that stuff. And
they can be sitting there Netflixing.
They have cameras all over the place that follow you, track you. But other than that, we don't know what other defenses Area 51 has. That snipers, maybe,
There is a rumor about snipers being there, but it hasn't actually been proven.
Yeah, we never know. We would never know.
Nobody. Yeah, we don't know anything.
So there are famous incidents that really spark controversy with Area 51. So like probably the most famous UFO incident of all time, which is Roswell, New Mexico crash.
Yes. Yep.
And so with that, a flying saucer, or a reported flying saucer, crashed in a ranch in New Mexico, which is 2 states over from Nevada. And they called the sheriff, they called military, everyone went out there, and the initial report was there was a flying saucer that was this metallic-like saucer that crashed in the middle of this farmer's ranch, and everyone filed this report until it got to the very higher ups in the military, and that's when they said the whole thing, it was a weather balloon and all this stuff, and it pretty much died down. It was a cover-up, and it died down. And then during the 70s and 80s, when people started investigating Area 51, they found this report that happened only 2 states over about this in Roswell, New Mexico, and everything started to click. It was like, I bet they're storing everything at Area 51 because it's like 2 states over and it's super secret. And so all this controversy starts sparking. It's like, if there's Roswell, evidence it's in Area 51. It's the only place it could be. And of course, in 2013, in the released documents, the government admitted that it was a cover-up, but they weren't covering up aliens. They were covering up a super advanced weather balloon that was going to be used to fly over Russia and spy on the Soviet Union. But this is all speculation. It could be true.
We could have a weather balloon flying over us right now.
Yeah,
we don't know.
It's just some super advanced weather balloons.
Yeah. But I mean, with all these, people going into Area 50, or at least getting close to it, testing their boundaries with, YouTube now. We have like a couple of YouTubers, UFO seekers, husband and wife. They literally have a car branded UFO seekers, and they go in there and they sleep in tents around Area 51, and they just they photograph planes flying over and all this kind of, like, camo dudes literally pulling them out of their car.
So there's only one place you can actually there's this hilltop that you can view Area 51 from. It's 41 kilometers away, so you have to have like a telescope or really high power binoculars or high power camera to see it. There were 2 original spots that were way closer that you could access to, a hiking trail, so you could see Area 51 from. And once evidence started pouring out from those places looking in Area 51, the military quickly, it's just very, very, everything's just so suspicious how they handle it, because these spots start getting used by the government, by people, by civilians to look in Area 51, and next thing you know, and this is like recent, this is 2000s, and then the military just all of a sudden takes over it, just says, all right, we claim this spot so people can go up here and look at us from.
I believe it was the hill that the camo dudes sit on now.
Yeah, and it's everything's just so hush hush that it's hard not to ask questions. It's like, why are they being so secret there?
Yeah. And actually talking about that hill, there was a car that it wasn't rated. It was there were 4 individuals in the car, and they drove up that mountain, and the camo dudes had them at gunpoint. Now we have a picture of that right here. But I mean, I think with people going in there and all this, everybody being able to see it and all that kind of stuff, Google has actually, right above Area 51, if you search up Area 51 on Google, they've actually put permanently closed. I know for a fact that was not there last year. Like, when I used to search up Area 51, it was not there. But now they're making it public that it is permanently closed to the public.
Dang, it's only got a 3.8 star review.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about that. The 3.8 star review.
Mount Everest has a higher review than that.
Yeah.
So some of the theories about what they're doing in Area 51 are the normal, spy planes, prototype aircraft, and then you get into they think that there's alien bodies there. They're reverse engineering alien aircraft that have crashed on Earth. They're experimenting with stuff that can control the weather, experimenting with so many different things that are very kind of out of this world, but who knows, because it's so hush-hush that we have no clue what's going on in there. It's so secret.
Yeah. But, I mean, Barack Obama, on May 11, 2016, at the Sunday night's Kennedy Center Honors event held at the White House, Barack Obama was the first president to publicly announce or publicly acknowledge Area 51, saying Area 51.
Yeah, he literally said it in a speech. That's in 2016. No president has talked about it until 2016. That's crazy to me. And I was looking at the way they got the name for Area 51 was in those released documents in 2013. Or not in 2013. There was released documents from the CIA where they mentioned the movement of a U-2 spy plane from Nellis Air Force Range to a base that they had marked. You know how they mark out the documents? They mark out important stuff. They had forgot to mark out. Every time they had the name of the base they transported it to, they had marked out the name of the base, and then they forgot to, in one little sentence, they forgot to mark out the name, and it was Area 51. That was the very first time that name had popped up ever, and that's when everyone basically put 2 and 2 together, and they realized Area 51 is that's the secret place. That's the place. It's Area 51. That's what they call it. It is called Area 51.
Yeah.
Even the CIA calls it Area 51. So that means everyone else has got to call it Area 51.
Yeah. I honestly, I think Area 51 is the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's like the most secret thing in America, and you can look at the pictures. They have pictures where you could see like tunnels with doors that go underground. So like they have underground facilities there.
Yeah.
There's no
Because
tunnel.
it's the old mining tunnels.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then so what exactly do you think they're doing there? Your opinion?
I honestly think it's just a training facility for flying. I mean, honestly, I don't really believe in aliens and all that kind of stuff, but I think it is a perfect airspace. It's an empty airspace to run military flight training.
They've got the perfect landing strip. They said that they literally it's a salt flat. It's a dried up lake, and they said that it's so smooth and flat. They don't even need to have a landing strip.
Yeah.
They can land on that.
Well,
salt
they
flat.
do actually have a runway now.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they're saying that
they
it's so smooth that they wouldn't even need one if it really came down to it. But so like my personal belief is back in the 50s during the Cold War, they had a reason to keep it hush hush. They had a reason to keep it secret. So the Soviets didn't know. But we know most about everything the military does now. There's not really any secrets we have. Most secrets we have are probably like submarines, but we know what's on the submarines. We just don't know their location. It's the only thing kept secret.
Yeah.
So they're still keeping Area 51 so secret. And my question is, why? Like, why is it still so secret?
Yeah.
Why is everything? They have to have something in there. Whether it's aliens, anything. I don't think it's aliens, but I think it's something big.
Do you think it'd be even more suspicious if they let everybody know what's going on right now and they didn't back then? Or not the 50s that you're talking about, but like now time, and then in the future they open everything up, but then they're like, hey, what about back, like what was going on back then?
Yeah.
And that might even create more suspicion, saying, hey,
I don't
what
know,
were you guys
man.
hiding back then? Maybe you
know.
guys figured it out and you guys were like, hey, this is nothing that we need to talk about. Let's just move on.
It's weird,
Man, it's just a whole
it's
big...
weird. So I think that'll about do it on our Area 51 podcast. It's been Grant.
And Zach?
This is Fast and Curious podcast, where we bring you a topic in 15 minutes or less.